This video is an in-depth look at the background Fame from the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Fame. Mortals know your name and eagerly seek out news of your activities. You might be a movie star, a rock star, or another celebrity. Fame grants pull and mass in social media. You have more ways than most to manipulate the thoughts of the populace. You likely have to mask the fact that you have never seen the day, such as a body double. In some circumstances, the storyteller may allow you to use fame as a social test dice pool instead of another trait, especially to get the otherwise exclusive venue or event. Do you know who I am? Doesn't work everywhere, but it does work. Each level of fame subtracts 1 from the difficulty of social tests against your fans and from many hunting tests, depending on your predation strategy. You have less trouble attracting prey. Fame has its downside, of course. It's harder for you to tail somebody unobtrusively. For example, who wants groupies hanging around the door to their haven all day, tagging them location and Instagram? You should look into taking disguise as a specialty. By default, fame applies among mortals, but you can also buy fame that applies among kindred for the same cost. Some kindred, such as Dracula or Elizabeth Bathory, might have both. Vampires may admire, or at least be more interested in, a kindred who is famous or infamous in life. Arthur Rimrod, Crispus Attucks, Billy the Kid, and the like. Fame is actually one of the easiest self-explained backgrounds in the game. Depending on points spent tells you how famous you are in mortal society or kindred society. Here are some examples. At 1 dot, you are famous within a subculture, so like a comic book artist might be known to comic book collectors, other people that would work in the comic book field as well. An athlete would be known to people that watch that sport. At 2 dots, you're a local celebrity, or recognized to most in your city. This could be like your city mayor or a popular businessman. It would also include radio personalities and even vocal teachers that are in the local news often. At 3 dots, people in the country have heard the name at the very least. How about Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, or Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak? The names sound familiar, but hard to put a face on them. At 4 dots, everyone with even vaguely cares about social trends or your field of knowledge knows something about you. This would be like Michael Jordan, Stan Lee, although in the past years I could see him actually being a 5, Howard Stern, or anyone else that would be popular in the field and known well in that group. Like myself, I do not watch sports or keep up with any of them, but you mentioned Michael Jordan, and I know exactly who you're talking about. And finally, at 5 dots, there are very few who do not know you. This includes presidents, actors, and musicians. If I mention Sean Connery, everybody knows who Sean Connery is and what he looks like. How is fame used? I use it in 2 ways. In social tests against characters' fans and certain hunting tests, I lower the difficulty by the number of dots the character has in fame. I personally use it for storyteller player characters encountering the characters to see if they recognize them. The downside of fame. Being famous makes it harder to do things like follow people unnoticed. It is also near impossible to be discreet when out being famous. Who are you dating? Having a bad hair day? People want to know these things about you, the more famous that you are. Could you imagine how hard it would be for Elvis to make it as a vampire? I hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully you were able to learn something new or have picked up something that you can use in your own game.